Hello! Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to another Adventures in the Forgotten Realms draft here on the channel. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more. And without further ado, let's dive on in. If you want to catch me streaming live, check it out at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Okay, so we've got a pretty cool rare here, Westgate Regent. So flying ward, which means they're going to have to 2-for-1 themselves to take it out. And then when it deals damage, you put that many counters on it. So damage to a player. So you just doubles its power and then it kind of wins you the game individually. So I like Westgate Regent. It is expensive, but I like it. There's also Wizard class, which is kind of a cheap way to take over the late game. It's a little bit expensive, but it is still a great card, I think. I think that would be my second pick out of this pack. And then in the common section, there is Minimus Containment and Charmed Sleep, both premium removal spells. I think Minimus might be a little better because it deals with any non-land permanent, and sometimes there's ways to untap the creature. So, but they're both close, I think. And also being a single pip instead of double pipped is also relevant. Evolving Wilds is reasonable, but I think I go Westgate Regent, Wizard class, Minimus, or Charmed Sleep next. And then whichever one I didn't pick. And then maybe, I don't know what comes next. Maybe this guy. I think this card's just too slow, the Bag of Holding. But I really want to try Westgate Regent. I like the artwork on it. So we'll see if we can get that guy going. Following up the Westgate Regent, it can go into really any color combination. So I'm not feeling any pressure on that front. This pack has Barrowin of Clan Undor, which is a pretty solid card. Though I've found it a little bit hard to complete dungeons until the late game. So, the second ability doesn't come up all that often. I do like Goblin Morningstar a decent amount as well. Giving it, like putting that onto the Westgate Regent is also nice because then it'll get 5 counters, but that's not the hugely relevant part of this card. There is Spoils of the Hunt, which was decent for me in my last draft. The treasure part didn't come up as much as I thought it would, but it's still removal in green, which green does want. I'm not going to take a 4-drop here. I would probably rather take Barrowin than that guy. This card's reasonable, though. I don't like the Iron Golem. I think this comes down to just Goblin Morningstar being the best card in the pack. Spoils is reasonable as well, but I really like this card. I also like Genie Windseer, but I think the Morningstar has really performed well when I've seen my opponents playing it, and so I'm going to take it here. It's just a very relevant equipment. Okay, and now in this pack, there is a Soul Knife Spy, which is pretty solid. There is a Sepulchre Ghoul, which is a nice sacrifice outlet. There's also a Price of Loyalty, so I could do something like take Sepulchre Ghoul, try to wheel Price of Loyalty. I think the Faraday's Fireball is okay, but 5 mana deal 5 is like a spiked Pit Trap. I think people kind of see these two cards and like, wow, this one's kind of a clunky artifact, and oh, this is a red removal spell. But this one's significantly easier to cast. It goes into any deck, and it also deals 5 damage. And it doesn't have the downside of potentially dealing you damage, and you can usually slip in that 1 mana. So, that's just my thought. I don't think I want this Cleric. I don't think I'm going to take the Clutches. So I think it comes down to Sepulchre Ghoul. I think it's better than Hexblade. At least with this Price of Loyalty being in the pack. And then there's also a Spiked Pit Trap. I'm going to take the Ghoul. I want to take a black card to potentially maximize my odds of playing the Regent. And I think being able to wheel Price of Loyalty from that pack could be enough upside to make that worth it. Okay, and now another interesting pick here, because there's quite a few powerful cards in the pack. And some of them are blue. So there is Displacer Beast, which is really nice. There's also a Genie Windseer, but I think Displacer Beast is better than that. And then there's also just Grim Bounty, which I'm going to take here because it's the same color as my Regent. And I just took a Sepulchre Ghoul. And I could see the colors just lining up that way. There's also Bruenor, which I think is good, but that would mean that I can't play Westgate Regent, which I'm not willing to give up on just yet, especially because there is a very good black card in the pack. So I like Grim here, followed by Displacer Beast, actually, because I could still just play blue-black. I think that last pick was very interesting. I like getting a good 2-drop, though, and I think the fact that it potentially opens me up to wheeling a good card from the pack as well is another reason why that card's a good pick. The Hired Hexblade could also have been the pick as well, though. And now, seeing a 5th pick, Krydle, along with the fact that blue has seemed open and there's a Charmed Sleep in the pack, makes me just want to commit to blue-black. I've just been seeing a ton of blue cards every pack, and I took the Goblin Morningstar over a Genie, and sure, I took the Sepulchre Ghoul over one of the Saboteur guys, the 3-drop. But Krydle is very, very good, I think, especially being able to give unblockable to the creatures, and a pretty easy pick here. There's also a Charmed Sleep. Pack 2 might be a little bit rough on seeing blue because we have passed a decent amount of it, but I think this card is just very, very strong and worth taking, and blue is looking open for business. I'm not going to put that card in the sideboard just yet, though. Okay, what else is in this pack? So it looks like black has been reasonably open, which is good. And then there's also the potential for blue to be open, and then white has seemed decently open as well. So Delver's Torch could be a decent card, though I don't love how expensive it is to equip. I think Fate's Reversal is really nice because I have Westgate Regent and Krydle, which are both really high impact cards to get back. Though I'm not really venturing all that much. So maybe Feign Death would be a better card, or maybe just the Delver's Torch. But I just like getting another black card, and I think being able to have a powerful card like Westgate Regent, a little bit more protected, is nice. Ooh, and that Precipitous Drop. Really a nice pickup here. Good removal spell, helps me venture. And it does keep me flexible, so if I did open something crazy in pack 2, I could go for it. I like the Shambling Ghast a decent amount too. But pretty easy Precipitous Drop. Again, great black card, some blue cards, some white cards. Those are the colors we're seeing. The Goblin Morningstar was second pick, so we didn't really have a good indication at that point. And so the Sepulchre Ghoul pick is looking a little bit worse now, because based on the information we had at the time, red was seeming open, but now red doesn't seem very open. So I still stand by my picks generally here, but just good to keep in mind. Okay, and now again, we see some white cards, we see some blue cards, and we see a decent black card. I think the red card is solid here, the Barbarian. I don't really want the Vampire Spawn. It's just a mediocre card. I'm going to take You Come to a River. I think this card's very impactful on the game, and having one copy in your deck makes your deck noticeably better. So I'm going to take that over Vampire Spawn. I don't really prioritize getting 3-drop creatures. There are much better 3-drops to get, and this card's nice. Okay. Baleful Beholder is actually a really fine 6-drop to have access to. Hired Hexblade can be nice. I have a Grim Bounty to make a treasure. I can get treasures from my ventures through the dungeon. I don't think Bag of Holding's good. I think a second You Come to a River would be maybe okay. Could be an acceptable addition to the deck. But I think I'd rather get my first unique copy of an effect. Hired Hexblade is pretty reasonable, but I'm going to take the Baleful Beholder. I think having access to one of those at the top end is nice. Giving menace to some of these creatures is good. And now Clattering Skeletons over these blue cards and over the Vampire Spawn. The Spiked Pit Trap coming around this late is very kind of disrespectful to it almost. I think this card's actually quite solid. Very reasonable for certain decks. Price of Loyalty did come back as well with the Sepulchre Ghoul. Synergy. But it doesn't look like I'm really going that direction anymore. And I think blue-black is going to be very open in pack 3. I don't like that card. But I'll take it so I don't pass too many blue cards. I think it's a bad card, though. Maybe I just take the red card, because the red card's actually playable. And I've kind of already realized that blue's not going to be open in pack 2. Wow. Nice. So, when it enters, if you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, I return it to my hand and venture. So it's like a 3-mana venture every turn if I want to. Especially if I'm not going for the Tomb of Annihilation. Which is not the greatest. And then when it attacks, for each opponent I create a 2/2. Unless they sack a creature. What else is in this pack for me? In terms of black cards, nothing. How likely am I to want to do the Tomb of Annihilation? I could see myself doing it if I had this card. What else is there in the pack? Nothing really for me. This is a very bad pack overall. There's some white cards, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be playing white. Even though white was sometimes kind of open-ish. I think blue-black is going to be where I want to be. It just seemed like blue was very open in pack 1. Wow, this is a great pack. This is a great pack for me. And the fact that I'm getting past... I mean, the rare is missing, so they could have taken a blue rare. But getting past a wizard class and a guild thief is really nice. I think wizard class is better. So we're going to look at just our blue-black deck. So we have a couple of 2-drops, but not an infinite amount. This card's also reasonable. Wizard class is just game warping, I think, in a lot of spots. I like Guild Thief because in the opening hand it's really good. But I like to have my cards be a little bit more relevant later on. So I don't think, because I think this card's a pretty miserable top deck, and my deck is a pretty late game deck in some ways. So Wizard class gives me some nice staying power. And a Vecna. I think this card's actually really good, having looked at it. Like when I first read it, the card seemed good. because you can equip it to pay 1 life by paying 1 life for each card in your hand, or you can pay 2 to equip it. And if you have 3 cards in your hand, it's +3/+3 with 2 to equip, or you can just equip it for like life loss. Actually, it only triggers on your turn. That's actually much worse. I'd rather just take a Charm Sleep. So yeah, I'm actually just going to take Charm Sleep. Hand of Vectum doesn't seem very good to me. There's a 2-drop here. There's also Scion, which can be good for triggering and letting my guys get through, but I'm just going to take the removal spell. Kind of where you want to be. Get some removal. Okay. There's a Burning Hands. Not really a market for leather armor. Death Priest of Miracle could be okay. I have a decent amount of removal. I don't think Horde Robber is good. I kind of want to try this Priest out too. Some options here. There's another Horde Robber, which I don't want. It's a Face Reversal, which I already have one of. I don't think I need multiples. There is a Shortcut Seeker, which could be reasonable. And then there's just a Skeleton. I like the Skeleton, I think. 4 mana 4/3 doesn't need that much health to be good. And Adventures, when it dies, this thing has to hit them. And I'm a primarily black deck at the moment. Nice. Getting a Precipitous Drop is great. Horde Robber, maybe I'll wheel one of those and I might play one. Ooh. Dungeon Crawler. I like it. It's an early drop. I don't need a third Clattering Skeletons. I already have a few 3-drops, and this card can come back later. It's also a card that I can sacrifice if I'm trying to complete the Oubliette. Aw, thank you so much, Get Diced. Feign Death. I'm just going to take the Dungeon Crawler. I think it's better than the Skeleton. A 1-drop is also just nice to have. Wow, late Yuan Ti Fangblade. That's an incredible pickup. I've got a very heavy venturing deck. Maybe Bar of the Gates gets better in that spot. I think blue is going to be very open in pack 3. I didn't expect it to be super open in this pack, and I've still gotten some cards. Maybe I take the dungeon map here. I don't like Devour Intellect. And now we get a Shambling Ghast over the Clever Conjurer. Just a nice early drop again. Spare Dagger is reasonable, but I like the early drop. Wow, late Kalane. I'm going to take the Kalane. I don't need the Shocking Grasp, and if I open some crazy red card, I could see just transitioning back. Like, sure, I have the Krydle, but I have a lot of black cards, so it gives me some flexibility. Horde Robber came back. Horde Robber could be okay in this deck, too. So currently my blue cards are pretty solid, I'd have to say. Like, it would take a little bit of a push to get me to go into red, but the Kalane is definitely a nice little potential card that could lead that charge. And there's a Magic Missile, but given the fact that we just see a Grim Bounty in this pack, I think Grim Bounty is better than Death Priest of Miracle. Sphere of Annihilation is really complex, but not very good. Yeah, it's just like a Wrath on a slow, like, yeah, it doesn't really work the way you want. And more removal works better with the Miracle Priest I already have. And maybe I'll even wheel this one. Black has seemed very open here. Teleportation Circle. So I get to re-trigger ETBs. Artifact or creature. So my creatures don't have great ETBs. So I'm not really in the market for that, even if I was planning on splashing that direction. I could take Evolving Wilds. I could also just take this Ginny Windseer. I have a lot of 4-drops already, but Windseer is pretty good. I could also take Evolving Wilds, help my mana out. I have a double blue card, and I want to be very heavy black. I'll take the Windseer, though. Thieves' Tools. I don't really have a deck that cares about dealing combat damage to people. I have kind of a good venture deck, I guess. Contact Other Planes, a nice controlling card. I'm definitely just going to play blue-black here. Like, Wizard's Class is a really good card, too. I have cards with some good death triggers. So, like, I could see myself wanting to play a copy of Feign Death. But it's much better with ETBs. Contact Other Planes a little bit clunky and stuff for my deck. Aircolt might be a little bit better. I'm just going to take the Contact, though. I don't know if I'm going to play any of those cards, though. I'll take Charmed Sleep now. I knew this would be a good pack for blue cards. Getting another Yuan T. Feels good. So my deck has a lot of removal spells. It's got some good stuff to do with them, too, like Venturing. Contact Other Plane doesn't fit my deck super well. I'm kind of a control, like a very mid-rangey deck, which I kind of like. But I clearly have a ton of options when it comes to which cards I'm playing. I think I'm going to have to go 9-8 in favor of Swamp. Having an Evolving Wilds would have been nice, because then I could have gone 9-7-1. How many Charmed Sleeps is too many Charmed Sleeps? Clutches is not a card that I'm super interested in. I'm just going to keep taking Charmed Sleep. I don't like the Polymorph. Deadly Dispute is reasonable, but I'm not going to be in the market for it, really. So, Manticore. There's also Zombie Ogre. They're going to be trading with my creatures a decent amount. I don't think this card's as good because I have some Death Touchers and high-power creatures. I could see Air Cult Elemental being reasonable as well. Or just a big removal spell. I already have some unconditional removal, though. I think I like the Zombie Ogre. Death Priest of Miracle came back. I think that's actually a really good card in my deck. Because they're going to trade with my Yuan Ti Fangblade. My deck is interesting. Very interesting. Sure, I'll just take the Vampire. It gets buffed by this. I actually have a rare in my deck this time. I have the rare that I opened pack 1, pick 1. No, I have that guy too. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Kind of want to try Feign Death. Secret Door is also interesting. Spirit Dagger. I don't think that card's very good. A lot of top end, a lot of cards here. It's gonna be interesting making some cuts. Ooh, the Ghast came back. That's really good. That's actually a big change. Big pickup. Thank you so much, Cousin Stompy, for the subscription, subscribing at tier 1. I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Dungeon Map. I have some expensive cards. Dungeon Map could be okay. We'll just at least put it in consideration. We'll just put all of our cards in consideration and then see what we want to do here. Okay, so we're going to run 17 lands. We need to cut 12 cards from this. Let's just immediately start by cutting the cards that are immediately bad or need some help. So this card needs some extra stuff to be good, but they're going to want to trade with my creatures. It kind of plays on theme a little bit. The Death Priest of Miracle plays really well with the Deadly Dispute. Okay, so let's just start cutting the cards that are more so just cutting raw power level first. Like all these cards are pretty strong. This card's a little bit weaker, so I probably don't need that. Vampire Spawn is a little bit weaker. It does have synergy with Death Priest, but I don't need it. Asarerak is interesting for sure. I kind of want to try it. Bar the Gate's a little bit weaker. Horror Dropper is weaker. Sure, I only have 2 2-drops, but I have the 2 Shambling Gas to make up for it. Spike Pit Trap is unnecessary in my deck because I have the Grim Bounties to kill whatever I need. Wizard Class, Dungeon Crawler. So I have a lot of good 1-drops. Feign Death is just a little bit weaker. I don't think I need it. You like it, Zazo? Thanks for the feedback. So, Wizard Class is good. Dungeon Crawler is good. Sepulchre Ghoul. So I have 3 1-drops, and this guy's a really good 2-drop. Do I need the Sepulchre Ghoul? It is a nice synergy with the Death Priest of Mir. It's good synergy with the Zombie Ogre. But I might also just not need the Death Priest of Mir Cool. Because that's just like a 4-mana 2/2. And then I can cut the Deadly Dispute, because that was only really in there for that synergy. I like the Fates Reversal, though, I think. Because I do have such a couple powerful cards to get back. And I think having just enough 2-drops is good. Come to a River is just a card I like. Can you contact another plane? I think my deck is like a very mid-rangey, grindy deck, and just drawing 2 extra cards could be very useful. Zombie Ogre. If a creature died this turn, I'm going to cut it. I don't like how restricting it is, kind of. Creature count, 13 to 11. I have some just like generally some. I have enough early game creatures, I think, because the 3 1-drops. Fate's Reversal is reasonable. Esarorak is really good, I think. It just makes me want to go for the Tomb. It makes me wish I had more aggressive cards, but I don't really have aggressive cards to speak of. Like, I'm not going to play Horde Robber. That card's just weak. Then one last cut here. I could just cut the Charm Sleep. I could also... I don't want to cut Ginny Winds here. I'm going to cut a Charm Sleep. I like the Beholder, I think. And a double blue is tricky. So yeah, I'm going to run it like this. Interesting deck for sure. We'll see how it performs. And I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support my work at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special shout out to those at the credits level. Now is a great time to join the Patreon, with Adventures in the Forgotten Realms right around the corner, because the Patreon is where you will find my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for the format, also known as a tier list. So if that's something that interests you and supporting my content is something that interests you, then the Patreon is a great intersection of those things. And there's also a host of other cool rewards on the Patreon as well. I truly appreciate everyone who supports my videos on the Patreon. Thanks for helping the channel continue to grow and thrive, and let me upgrade my equipment with microphones and cameras and things like that. It really does make a big difference, and I appreciate you. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. Good hand here. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop on the draw. We're gonna go. Geronimo, thank you so much for the subscription. Sharing that Twitch Prime. It really is appreciated. Easy attack. And the Ghoul. And then we can Precipitous drop this thing. Not blocking, that's for sure. This is a pretty good card to Precipitous drop. I feel like the Tomb of Annihilation gets entered very infrequently, but having this Mythic makes me want to enter it. Because if I do top deck that card, it'll be good. Sure, the trap. Oh, I messed up. I missed a point of damage. I think it's still worth doing, though. So I missed out on a point of damage there. Like, getting my 4-3 out is really nice here. High upside. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Geronimo. Spiked pit trap. Got the win! Woohoo! They didn't hit land drops. Good job. I knew I could do it if I only believed in myself. Thank you so much, Geronimo. It really means a lot hearing kind words like that. And thanks for sharing that Twitch Prime. At Prime Gaming, as it is now called. It always feels good. I like it when Twitch Prime works out because it's like, it's not like a well-documented... I feel like it's like kind of a secret in many ways. And so it feels like people get to kind of support the stream for, I don't know, like almost like included with something they already had. If you folks on YouTube are wondering what I'm talking about, Amazon owns Twitch, and so you're able to subscribe to the Twitch stream at no extra cost to yourself if you have Twitch Prime, which is cool. If you have Amazon Prime. Cridle into Precipitous Drop could be the truth. One turn late on the Dungeon Crawler. Whoa, I got a donation. I have to open up the special secret sauce to see what it says, though. I think I got donation. Or I got hosted for one viewer. One of the two. Or rated for one viewer. I will open it up. Never fear. I will come through. I will come through for you. I will find it. And I really appreciate it, whatever it was. I will... Oh, I'm just opening up the thing I need for it. Okay. I'm going to keep that on top. Come on, load, load, load. There are no recent events. What do you mean there's no recent events? There's certainly recent events. I will find it. Oh, it was a host of some kind, I think. I will find it, don't worry. Okay, so they're attacking me. I'll keep that on top. Okay. It said Magic is hosting with one viewer. Oh, that's actually awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know, folks. I sometimes don't have the Streamlabs thing up because it makes my computer run slower at times. So getting that feedback is good to know. So they didn't block last turn, but will they block this turn is the question. This is like a creature, artifact, or land. Well, I will sacrifice a land. Ah, nice. Got my 4/4 Death Touch rolling. Give it unblockable even. But Magic hosting. Thank you, Magic. Someone at Wizards was hanging out, saw my stream was live, and they were like, let's go. Nice. Bad rolling. That's what I like to see from my opponents. Maybe I should have just taken 2. I forgot that this thing was going to venture on its own. That was my bad. So this thing can take out 2 of their guys. More Annihilation. But if I had an extra land, I could have played this too, so that was bad. Boom! Got the win. Let's go. Feels good. Wow, I wasn't even paying attention for some of that game because I was like looking to see if who was raiding or hosting, because it doesn't always pop up on my little my situation here. My streaming setup is pretty awesome. I have like my phone that has Twitch chat on it, and then I have my computer with the game on it, and so I can't always see everything that's going on because I'm a streamer of the people. I make my stream available wherever I am. Oh yes, let's go. We're gonna keep this one. Okay, so we're playing against a white deck. So rule number 1 against a white deck is never play your Wizards class on if they're going to play their 2-drop. And they could have their stupid Cleric that could kill it. So next turn I might play it because I might miss my card otherwise, and they're going to have some targets, but I generally try to avoid playing it on turn 1. Okay, they've got their Priest. I'm not going to draw because I don't want to discard to hand size. And I don't want to Charm Sleep this thing. Maybe that's just playing too brazenly. I might not go for the Tomb of Annihilation this game because I'm on the back foot. Even though I have that guy that wants me to finish it. Because I don't have that guy in hand. Yeah. I'm happy to trade off this thing. They'll hit me for 3. I'll Charm Sleep this guy. Oh, it does say I have no max hand size. Good call. Wow, that is such a good call, Eli. I'm going to lose the game because of this too, but that is a great call. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, that line of text is actually relevant. I'm terrible. What am I saying? I'm so sorry, chat. Well, I'm dead. It would have been hard to win that game anyway, but I feel bad about that. Yikes, wrecked. Maybe I was supposed to draw anyway just so I could make sure I hit my land drops. I think overall it was a bad play not to draw, and then I made it worse by the fact that it completely... Like, even if I had to discard a card, it was so worth it to draw because I need to hit my land drops there. I was thinking too much in value town. I don't think I was going to win that game regardless, though. The plate mail was going to make it really tough, especially with Bruenor as a follow-up. Good hand. I like the Shambling Ghast. holding my breath. Will they choose to keep? Will they choose to mulligan? With me, I pretty much always choose to keep, even if it's slightly detrimental. But like, there's like stats where like games where you mulligan, you win 10% less or something. And so if I have a hand that I think can win 40% of the time or whatever, or 40% of my win rate, like very low end of the spectrum hands, I tend to keep them. Okay. The Ghast can take this guy out when it trades with something inevitably, or I can just tap it down with the sleep if I need to. Sleepy Hawk. Probably going to cast this sleep on whatever they play this turn. Ooh, 3 colors on turn 3. What a legend. Well, that's bad. I'm going to do that instead. Because I want to use a hard removal spell on this. I don't want it sticking around. Because that would be bad. Maybe I was just supposed to keep taking damage, but I feel like I'm going to draw, like, spells with which to do things. And I'm not going to have time to play it. And taking a couple less points of damage is actually relevant. I think I'm going to draw this turn. Ooh, I like this guy. Oh, I'm double blocking, buddy. Sure. So I can either make a treasure, which I'm going to do, or I could like give this thing -1/-1, so I take 1 less damage this turn. Clearly I'm going to make a treasure, though. So I can then play multiple things. Is gaining a life going to be so important that I have to go down this one? No, I think I'm going to go Fandelver. So I'm going to have 7 mana next turn. I can go Krydle plus... Or I can go Westgate plus the 1/1. Wow, they could have given this thing +0/+2, so this thing would untap. Hopefully this guy just gets to take over. That'd be nice. Wow, they really botched it with this thing. So I've ventured once. They're going to be able to untap this thing or that guy. But they haven't entered a dungeon just yet. I'm not going to pay. They can chump if they want. I know I could technically give Menace here. But I just want a big creature. I could have also played Precipitous Drop. Gotten a treasure, played Clattering Skeletons. But I don't have anything I can kill with the drop is the problem. Okay, hit me for 3. Okay, so now they can chump block if they really need to. So I can kill them in 2 turns if I do this. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. And I'll have 2 blockers. 3 blockers, because I can play the skeletons. Westgate region is known for taking over games. Boom! Let's go. Definitely corrected you, the Kreidel thing. Because they can't really kill me that turn. Let's go. Got a nice win there. Yeah, I could have played something else. And then I could have given my guy Menace before. Yeah. That way I wouldn't have had to pay for Kreidel. Let's go. Big win. That was a big one. I felt like it was kind of a close game. Yeah. Was venturing, getting my stuff done. These games are going... This has been a really fun format for me. Okay, we're going to keep this. I like the Shambling Ghast. This hand is a little bit weak. It doesn't have, like, the consistent card advantage type stuff that I like to have in a hand, like a Venture guy. Like, if I drew a UNT, it would be really good. So I've got all of the defenses up, and I have some removal, but Black-Red doesn't generally have card advantage, so going 1-1, like, 1 for 1 with them for a while until I find some card advantage would be okay, I think. And I want to make sure I save some of the, like, Grim Bounty type stuff so I can actually, like, kill something that needs killing. Like, if they have one of the Skullport merchants or something like that, I want to be able to kill that rather than use a Charmed Sleep on it, because the activated ability is scary. But here, my hand is a little bit awkward, I'd say. Okay, so that's a card that I can Charmed Sleep because it's got an attack trigger. Then I can attack with both. Essentially, they have a lower life total than me, and I also have removal spells, which means that I can just keep killing whatever threat they play that matters. And it looks like they were relying on this to hit land drops, potentially. Or they're just going for the second main like a master. Hexblade, okay. See, that's a good draw. So I can keep attacking, keep up the pressure. Technically, that was a bad attack. I should have only attacked with 1, but... because that's trading 2 damage for 1 damage. So that was a bad play. But now I get to get a little bit of card advantage from this wizard class. So that's like the type of thing that can help me take over the game. Oh, and Yuan Ti is perfect for this spot, because I have removal spells, I've got bounce spells for tempo. Okay. I'll get my Fangblade down. I'll start establishing a perimeter. They have all spells in hand, but I have all spells in hand too, and we have the same number of cards in hand, which is good. This thing can trade with the UNT. Okay. I get to create a treasure token. So I could bounce this thing. It would give me some time to reset. I think I'm going to do that. Because they're going to have to recast it and stuff, and I'm going to be able to get my stuff going. Maybe I shouldn't have played that in case they have the discard spell, which is an uncommon, but still. This is a good card, isn't it? Plus 2 plus own Death Touch, yeah. Let's go for the Tomb of Annihilation because I do have this guy. I'll decline. I'm not going to go for the fast road because I can just double cast it next turn. Well, that's kind of scary, but this is 6 mana. It costs 8 mana for me to lose the game. What's the next one on this one? Sacrifice a creature, artifact, or land. Making them sack a land is actually pretty relevant for this thing, because it makes it so they aren't going to be able to activate it. Boom! Got the win. And then I was going to start going to a different dungeon. That was a good game, I think. Got the win. That was a good one. The Acerak guard is nice. Ansarak, or what's it called? Something in the Tomb of Annihilation. Wow, playing this really makes me want to play Dungeons & Dragons, which makes me happy that I got to play with my brother yesterday. I'm a dungeon master, for those who don't know. I also play as a character. This is my first time being a dungeon master. I'm building a campaign for my brother and some of my friends. We're like four or five missions in. Acerak. It's been pretty fun so far. Do I want the last Charmed Sleep over Genie Windseer? Probably not. I've been pretty happy with all the cards here. Maybe I don't want the Venture into the Dungeon card that returns a creature to my hand, because that card's a little bit... Yeah, I'm going to probably make that swap after this game. Charm Sleep is just a nice card. So I can't cast anything, but I'm on the play. And I need 1 land for this hand to come together. So I'm going to keep it. And I have this guy, which is just like nutso. So they don't have a dragon. I don't really care about a 1/3. Skeleton. The skeleton feels good to play. Gotta be said. I'm not going to play Westgate just yet. They could easily have a removal spell for it that's lined up, and I'd rather play it next turn, I think. Okay. Because if they had a removal spell, they'd kill this thing with it. And this guy's going to win me the game. Maybe I'm just supposed to jam it. But I also don't particularly want to block. Thank you so much, Dr. Moon MTG, for the subscription. Aw, terracotta. Thanks, Kent. I appreciate it. Wow, double the subscription. Thank you so much, Dr. Moon MTG, for sharing that Twitch Prime, and thank you so much, Terracotta, for the subscription. I really appreciate that. How you doing, Kent? Nice to see you, friend. I'm going to play this thing, and I'm going to play the Regent. Because I feel like they would have used a removal spell to kill this thing last turn. I'm so glad you like them, Dr. Moon. Yes! The Regent strikes once more. My deck kind of just trades off. Very efficient, very efficient. But I also have this thing where my opponents can't really attack me as well because I have creatures that deal damage to them and get triggers, like my Yuan Tea and stuff like that. Wow, this deck is rolling. How do you check the dungeon details in game? You can right-click on the dungeon if it's on your side, if you're playing it, I think. You might also be able to see it by viewing sideboard, or you can just Google it on your phone or something. Frat bro vibes. My name doesn't have an H in it. GG's. Highs, lows. In deck builder. Oh, you right-click on them, I think. Oh. If they're hovering over a card, you can right-click on one to switch between which ones you're looking at. We're going to keep this one. UNT Fangblade can potentially do some work. That into Grim Bounty is a nice start on the play. Aye! Drawing a land is great. It doesn't even care which type of land it is, because I can then go this into this thing guaranteed. No! I'm gonna get the skeleton down. I don't really want to kill the Kulain. I want to kill the other creatures.
5 wins, baby.
Thank you so much, Get Diced, for the bits. I really appreciate that. A hype train has been started on my channel. I don't know exactly how hype trains work. I just know that it gives someone a custom little badge, and it calls them the hype train conductor, which is just really funny. Well, this is gonna work out for me. I'm gonna kill it first, just in case they have some protection spell or something, or the let it die and come back with a counter card or something, because then I wouldn't want to attack. But I'm not going to play this thing because they could just have a removal spell and wreck me. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. It's been great having you all tuning in. A lot of viewership. And I think that I'm going to be doing long Saturday streams more often because they work really well with my schedule and stuff. I can play this and hold a bounce spell to keep it safe. No attack there because trading a 4/3 for a 3/1 is just inherently very bad. Get Diced, thank you so much for the gifted subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in, Kent. I appreciate it. And thank you so much, Get Diced, for the 2 gifted subs. Welcome in Disorder and the Tabletop Smuggler. I'm not going to block this with my 4/4. I don't want to expose it to a combat trick. Even though I guess I could blow him out with You Come to a River. They can't recast this because they don't have double red. And I've got the win because this is 11 damage, and then if they block and trade with this, they take 1 from the Tomb of Annihilation. Because it hasn't entered a dungeon that game yet, I don't think. Yeah, I hadn't. Boom. Geronimo, thank you for the gift for the bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. We're crushing this draft. It's going so well. 6-1. One more game to go. I'm actually going to keep that one Venture card in over the last Charmed Sleep. I haven't drawn it yet, so I want to see it in action. Wow, this is such a good stream. We have over 100 folks hanging out. It feels great. I really like Saturday streams. They're good. They fit with my schedule quite nicely. And they let me get ready for the week. Tie suit. I'm not playing the Zombie Lord. I cut that card. So, that's why we haven't drawn it. Okay, on the draw. We're going to keep this. Dungeon Crawler is good. We have the Westgate Regent. We do need to draw a land, but I believe that we will. Do you believe? Oh, yeah. Hit the land drop. First try. Easy trade. And if they do something, we can precipitous drop it instead. Easy Fangblade. Yeah, it just seemed unnecessary, tie suit. One big tip, so this is just a general thing, is if your deck has a lot of playable cards in it, putting in the cards that, first of all, you want to make sure you don't play any cards that are just objectively bad. So that's always something that's worth noting. I am just going to do this again, and I don't want to trade this for a 2/2, so I'm just going to send with this guy. I should have done that the opposite order, but oh well. But also they could have like deal 5, but I just don't want to trade these things off like that. But if you have a deck that has more than enough playables, reducing the number of cards that need things to go right in order to be effective is really important. Wow, is this card bad. Oh my gosh, that card is absolutely horrific. So I'll let them trade here. Ah, this card is a beating. $20! Yes! I am the greatest! I actually don't mind sacrificing this guy. What's the tomb do? Creature. Yeah, so I can do that. Wow, Geronimo, thanks for another 500 bits. That's so kind of you. 5% chance. You're saying there's a chance. So I have kill spell for this guy. I can also, when I upgrade this thing again, I can sacrifice my 1/1. So I can go this thing into this thing, sacrifice my 1/1, kill their 4/1. Hype trains are cool. Yep. Land. No! This is tough. Ah! So luckily we're still in the game. Because Azaranzek. Sacrifice a creature. Goodbye, wolf. Sleepy time. Still alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. So I can get a Death Toucher here. I'm gonna play this, so if it dies, if they do make me, like, if they don't let me trade here, then I get to get a treasure at least. So that I can double spell or play this guy down. Wow, they're playing the troll. Oh my gosh. That's so good for me. Holy heck. The troll is so bad, I think. Just, like, absolutely horrific. Well, that's really good for me. Do they have +2/+2 trample? They do. No, they do not. Hmm. When this attacks, I get a 2/2 unless they sack a creature. I'm gonna just get this guy down, though. I have a lot of removal spells. And this guy can jump it for a turn, or I can just trade with this thing. I can still use this, too. I really want to get this guy down, though. I have 7 mana right now. Oh, that's a really good draw. So they're going to sack this dragon. What? Well, I haven't been able to get this Westgate Regent down, but mostly because I've been stabilizing. And I still have this thing to draw some cards. Wow. And this guy can gain me a life. Okay. That is good. And I still have my flyer in reserves. So I can trade here, which I'm going to have to do, but then I can get it back. Even when they're returning it to their hand, it still feels really bad. And like when they return it to the top, it's going to be like great for me. So this is Westgate Regent. So I can sack this treasure, force them to sacrifice an enchantment, and then I get my Westgate Regent back. And it has haste. Or no, I can't attack with it. That would be lunacy. Do they really have another removal spell? Wow. Wow. I actually lost because of the troll. Wow. I can't believe that. That was so wild. I literally lost because the troll went to their hand twice because they had enough cards to discard to the Westgate. Wow. I guess they could have spun it again. But still, that feels bad. Oh my gosh. That was rough. That was a very good match. I felt like I had him. I felt like I had him. I I wasn't sure how Minimus Containment interacted with the Charmed Sleep. Or I would have tried to make the I would have tried to like sacrifice the Westgate region because I can get that one back, and then kept the Charmed Sleep on their guy, if that makes sense. Because I don't know if it goes back to being attached to their creature. Because I was afraid that if I put the Charmed Sleep onto their guy, though I still would have lost. No, I wouldn't have, because the guy would have been tapped for an extra turn. But what I was worried about was them having... I'm going to mulligan this hand. I can't cast anything. This is a fine hand, though. I'm going to get rid of the winds here. What I was worried about was them having... was it not reattaching? And so it was kind of like, if there had been a judge present and that ruling works, it would have made a little bit of a difference on the game, I think. Because I was hoping that... I was thinking... Because if I can get Charm Sleep back attached to the White Dragon, it's much better and safer for me. Cridle, eh? I'm not going to 2-for-1 myself. I can kill whatever they're trying to get through with Cridle, and then I can Grim Bounty the Cridle. No! Acererak. Though I do have my Get Back card. Does anyone in chat know how the interaction works between Charm Sleep and the removal spell thing? I'm gonna have to Grim Bounty this guy. It's gonna be really tough against me. I'm gonna do this now. I can jam Westgate Regent next turn. Okay, Karmic. Basically, if I have a Charmed Sleep on my opponent's creature, and they play the turn my non-land permanent into a treasure, and I then kill the enchantment that turns my thing into a treasure, does the Charm Sleep then reattach to the creature, or does it cease being attached to them when it is does it cease being attached to it when it's an aura? I mean, not an aura. When it's when it becomes a treasure. Just jamming Westgate as early as possible, hoping they don't have removal. It's a strategy. You don't know what I just said. Oh, okay, well this thing could take over. You choose a new target. Oh, okay. Well, that's a game changer. So I could have won that last game probably. I just didn't want to gamble on it because I didn't know how it worked. But yeah, that was a potential line for sure. I'm just gonna put them to a. I'm gonna do this as safely as I can. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna precipitous drop their charming thing. Their chattering or whatever it is. I'll scry one. Don't need that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, get diced. I felt like it would just not be attached to anything, because it's not re-entering the battlefield. Yes! Finally! It turns out that when I have a rare in my deck, actually 2 rares, I can actually get to 7 wins instead of getting stuck at 5. Let's go! Yes! Oh, that felt great. Absolute heck of a run. I felt very proud of that. Played well. The matches were close. There were some very tight moments. Wow, thank you so much for the bits, Toronimo.
Westgate FTW. Congrats on the 72. This is what we all came here for.
Westgate was awesome. I was very happy with the Westgate. Definitely an easy first pick out of that pack that I had it in. So Westgate was absolutely fantastic. Let's just do a little wrap up before I talk about the little card things. If you did enjoy this video, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, comment below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. And in the comment section down below, leave hashtag Regent of Victory to let me know you made it all the way till the end of the video, because Westgate Regent was presiding over a swath of wins, shall we say. A lot of really close matches with this deck. There was a lot of playables in the sideboard that I didn't even have to stoop to, almost, because the deck was just so powerful. I even had a third Charmed Sleep, which is kind of wild. If you made it all the way to the end, you can also leave a comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. Let me know if you're a judge and you know how the Charmed Sleep minimal containment interaction works. That would just be very interesting to me. We managed to win our 7 wins regardless, but it would have been an interesting interaction for sure. And it was definitely something I considered, though I didn't know how it worked, so I went with a different line. If you would like to find more of my stuff, you can find the Discord server, you can find my articles, and you can find the link to the Twitch stream, all in the description of this video. And you can also find the link to the Patreon if you would like to support my work as well in the description. You can also gain access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet, also known as a tier list for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, by going to that link. And then you can also support me with a donation if that's something you would prefer. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can even support me at no extra cost to yourself by linking your Amazon and Twitch accounts and then using Prime Gaming subscription on my channel, because Amazon owns Twitch, so they give you a subscription for free. So that's a nice little perk as well. Yeah. I will now go through the cards that I liked and disliked as a little bit of a bonus for people who stuck through that little end of thing patter. Baleful Beholder, definitely a solid 6-drop. I was really happy that I had this. and making them sack an enchantment was definitely a cool line a couple of times. So definitely a nice card at the top end. Menace is also quite relevant. Westgate Regent, absolute house. You should first pick this if you see it and try to put it in your deck. Very, very good card, and I was very impressed with it. Even like the bare minimum is you get a 5-mana 4/4 that makes them discard a card to kill it, and it just takes over the game if it hits them even a single time. Grim Bounty, absolutely fantastic. The treasure was very relevant, and it felt really good to be able to kill anything. Even like ramping out my stuff was nice sometimes. Clattering Skeletons, rock solid. I was very Clattering Skeletons, whenever I played it, I was like, no matter what happens to this, I'm happy. I'm very happy to trade it. I'm very happy for them to kill it. It just felt very solid. I think this is a very solid card. Not a super high pick, but definitely a card you're going to be happy playing. The Windseer is nice just for some flying. The Scrying just kind of does it all. Just a nice 4-drop. And Contact Other Plane is a card that I'm a fan of. I high rolled the Scry 3, draw 3 at that one point, which was really a good time. And that is going to happen 5% of the time, so that is a part of the card, which is quite nice, because that can just win you the game on its own, even though I think I lost that game by the narrowest of margins. Yuang Ti Fangblade, I absolutely love this card. 3-mana 2/2 Death Touch doesn't need that much extra help to be good, and this one just like has extra, like makes them want to block it, which just works super well with a lot of the themes, and really good with removal spells. I love Precipitous Drop. This card was a beating and really performed well. I like it, especially when you have cards that can get through and, yeah, reward you for that. Acererak, definitely a card that I'm glad I took and prioritized. Tomb of Annihilation was one that I hadn't explored as much, but it definitely puts a lot of pressure on the opponent, and the 4/4 is a very, very real reward for getting to the end of it. You want to make sure you have enough consistent venture to finish it, because you don't want to get stuck in the Sandfall cell or something, but Acererak was definitely a good reason to explore the tomb, and it also gave me a lot more confidence for exploring the tomb in the future. There's Charm Sleep. I definitely liked my copies. The only reason I didn't play the third is because Double Blue was a little hard for my deck, and I already had 2 Grim Bounties and 2 Precipitous Drops. So yeah, there's that. You Come to River, great card to have as one copy of. I really like that one. Fate's Reversal, never drew it, but it would have been okay. Probably should have been a third Charm Sleep, though. Sepulchral Ghoul, drew it once. It was okay. Definitely goes well with the Shambling Gas. Krydle, absolutely fantastic. Love this one. Really makes the late game annoying for your opponents. And a lot of the removal spells don't kill it dead, so being able to just have it on the board is annoying. And then I really like Shambling Ghast. Getting to play with this card, I hadn't played with it yet, and just chumping to get a treasure was sometimes worth it. Trading with a 1 toughness creature. We had that really sick line where we like played this, then we played the Acererak, sacrificed it to kill a 4/1, that type of thing. Dungeon Crawler was excellent, and then Wizard Class is absolutely fantastic. So a lot of cool cards that we got to play in this build, and I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know if you made it all the way to the end of this little extra wrap-up thing. Oh, I did draw Fate Reversal in the second to last game, and it would have been really good because I could have gotten back this guy, but I found the cooler line with the Baleful Beholder. So yeah, good point. But yeah, Wizard Class was definitely a good performer as well. I haven't actually gotten to the 3rd level of it yet, but it's definitely a threat and makes people concede before I get there usually. But yeah, a lot of fun with this draft. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it to the end of this little wrap-up thing, leave hashtag #WrapUpViewer, because I never know how many people like stop watching after I do the little like spiel about where you can find my extra content and stuff. I know it's a lot of viewers because the draft video is essentially done, but just I like doing these little wrap-up things, and that could be it's always nice to know who makes it all the way to the very, very end. So that is going to do it for this draft video, though. I hope you enjoyed it. Getting my first trophy in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms felt excellent, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will talk to you next time.